Hello, Grace. Welcome back to our reading plan. Today is June 8th, and we're finishing up the book of Ecclesiastes, and then we're back in 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles. Now, if you have been enjoying reading through Ecclesiastes the last couple of days, you might need to see a psychiatrist because that is not the most fun book, right? And we see it in today's reading too, that everything is meaningless and everything's chasing after wind, and that we should enjoy everything because it's all meaningless. But there is kind of a duality that we see in Ecclesiastes, is that everything is meaningless, but then also enjoy everything. So what's going on here? And that's why it's really important while we're reading these books in the Old Testament to keep our eyes on Jesus. Because yes, it's true, if our desires are only on worldly things, it is meaningless. It will not last. Your job, your riches, they're all going to fade away. And many of us have already experienced that, the loss of potential that we had when we were younger. For me, I was really wanting to play baseball. And when it became a reality that I wasn't going to be able to make it to the major leagues, there was some wrestling I had to do with. I thought I was good at this. I put so much time and effort into this, and now it is being taken away from me. Or at least I'm seeing that I'm not able to get into that area. And so I was like, what did I spend all that time doing this for? And so it seemed meaningless. But what we see in this chapter is that there are some wonderful things that we need to remember, and that is our Creator. Chapter 12 says, "Don't let the excitement of youth cause you to forget your Creator. Honor Him in your youth before you grow old and say, life is not pleasant anymore." And then it says in verse 4 and 5, "Remember Him before the door of life's opportunities is closed." Verse 5, "Remember Him before you become fearful of falling and worry about danger in the streets." Verse 6, "Yes, remember your Creator now while you are young, before the silver cord snaps. Don't wait until the water jug is smashed and the spring pulley is broken, for then the dust will return to the earth and the Spirit of God will return to God who gave it." Now, why did I highlight those things? Is because for us who are young, we have to remember, we have to see that the things that we are putting our effort and time in, it is going to fade. And that is the lot of everyone in life. And so at the end of chapter 12, he says this: yes, things are painful, but this is what we have to do. Verse 13, "Fear God and obey His commands, for this is everyone's duty. God will judge us for everything we do, including every secret thing, whether good or bad." So while he's going through all these things that are going to happen, and all his endeavors and all the things that he sought after and realized that they weren't fulfilling him, he realizes that I need to keep my eyes on the Creator. I need to keep my eyes on God, because He will judge me for these things. So if I put my life and my worth in things in the world, it will end badly for me. And so we are to fear God and obey His commands. And that's where we see in Jesus that He makes it possible for us to fear God by the power of the Holy Spirit and to obey Him. And He gives us the commands of love and sacrifice, and He models it for us so that we can follow what the teacher in Ecclesiastes says, to fear the Lord and obey Him. And so I love Ecclesiastes because it reminds us that this world will end, and everything we have, everything we put our hope in, will fade away. But God is with us forever, and He will judge us, and through Christ uphold us in His love so that we can experience even greater than this world could offer. And that's what I love about Ecclesiastes. Now, moving on to 1 Kings, Solomon's son comes to reign. And the people are really hopeful that he is going to be different than King Solomon. Now, we remember that King Solomon was a wise king, but something changed in him. He became someone who sought after other gods and sought after other things. And maybe we even see that in Ecclesiastes is seeking after these other things. That's not like Solomon did, realizing that is not a good thing. Well, Rehoboam finds out that he's trying to be even worse than his father so that they respect him, and he finds out that is not a good idea. In fact, verse 6 of chapter 12, King Rehoboam discussed the matter with the older men because they had come and said, please lighten our load. And the older men gave him really good advice. If you're willing to be a servant to these people, they will be your loyal subjects. And then his friends give him horrible advice. He listens to the friends. So Rehoboam should have listened to the older men in this opportunity to lead his people of Israel. And that is a lesson for us, is that people who have experience are wise. And especially if they give themselves to as what the teacher said, to be wise and to honor God, we can listen to them. But we actually have something interesting coming tomorrow that will juxtapose, even when a prophet is going to listen to an older prophet, that actually turns out bad for him, that he's not listening to Yahweh. And so we have two things coming differently. I'll talk more about that for tomorrow's reading. But then we have Jeroboam becomes the king of the northern kingdom, and Rehoboam becomes the king of the southern kingdom. And that is what we see for the rest of Israel's history, is that they are split into two kingdoms. And as they're split into two kingdoms, Rehoboam goes to try to fight the northern kingdom. And then a prophet says, don't do this. God is the one who set this up for you. And then the last thing I want you to highlight here is Jeroboam making gold calves. Now he is returning to the sin of the desert, when they wanted their own kings, they wanted their own gods, because the God of Israel wasn't coming back, or Moses wasn't coming back. So they needed their own gods to lead them, and so that they could praise them. And so Jeroboam makes golden calves again and leads the people into idolatry, and that ends up badly for him. Now for us, what are we going to take from this? Well, we want to listen to wise counselors, and we want to make sure that we are not falling into idolatry just because it's convenient, just because other people who say they're going the right direction, but we are not connecting with them, that we're not going to say bad things about them. We're not going to be taken into this desire for idolatry, and we are going to follow the Lord, as the teacher said, obey him and fear him, so that we can be judged rightly through the blood of Christ. So I hope you enjoy the reading today. God bless you.